This was the scene of Nottingham Forest's European triumph in midweek, Lyon in France, where Frank Clark's team staged such a resilient display to defend successfully that one-goal lead from the first leg. Now, back in league action at the City Ground, Forest were awaiting another stiff challenge, this time from Aston Villa in an all-Midlands derby. Villa were the last team to beat Forest at home in the league, and they arrived in Nottingham seeking the win that would keep them 2 points clear of Forest in the table. Commentary comes from Paul Dempsey.
The big team news, Forest wide player Ian Wone has been dropped by Frank Clark after a newspaper article attributed to Wone in which he suggested Forest were fortunate to find themselves among Europe's elite. Alfhinger Haaland steps in for him. Brian Roy still missing injured, Des Little okay after a knock in midweek, and Jason Lee fit to lead the line. Aston Villa have been hit hard by the European Championship playoff in midweek. The Irish trio, McGrath, Townsend and Staunton all missing. The England under-21 defender Ricardo Shimeka gets a chance to learn about the big time alongside the outstanding prospect Ugo Ehiogu. Ian Taylor is restored to their midfield. And it's Forest defending the Trent end who'll get us underway here. The whole stadium is buzzing after Forest's exploits in midweek in Europe, but now it's back to the bread and butter, and they really have got to start winning matches again. No win in a month for Forest before this, in domestic terms. Europe is a fine distraction, but consistency is judged only on league efforts. Jason Lee stole into a good position, and he tracked him. Villa deploying the three-man central defensive unit. Stuart Pearce will be in a slightly unaccustomed role today, with Ian Wone surprisingly dropped by Frank Clark. Draper. If you came to this game cold, you'd be forgiven for believing that Villa were the home side here. Forest sitting way back, even by their standards. Are they going to pay for it here? It's an excellent save from Crossley, and he was definitely the last line of defence available as Taylor swiveled in the box. Nottingham Forest have sat off Aston Villa, and they really were made to pay for it here. Taylor kept his feet well. The shot came to Crossley at a nice height, but there was still plenty of work for the keeper to do. Draper with the corner. Little got one header on it. Johnson, that was struck with more venom by Tommy Johnson. Brian Little encourages him to shoot on sight, but I think the idea is to shoot on the target. And Little, as a player, knew all about that himself. Quality frontman. Wasn't much of him physically, but player with a brain. Taylor's galloped forward as he loves to do. Charles made a good run, and he's got space to measure across. Not a bad one. It looked good for Villa and for Dwight York. And York is a player who can head the ball well in the box. We've seen him score some spectacular goals in this sort of position this season. Just couldn't twist enough. A little. Haaland wants it. Gemmell wanted it too. Is there going to be a shot from Scott Gemmell? Yes, there is. Haaland might get the second one. It's as close as Nottingham Forest have come, and it's the first meaningful save that Mark Bosnich has had to make in first half injury time. Set up nicely in the end for Gemmell to hit, and it was possibly blocked from Bosnich's view by the defender. He got it though, and Haaland following up quickly couldn't hit the target. Draper. Charles. Draper wants it short again. Roundly booed by his former supporters. Charles, it's gone on to Milosevic, and now Dwight York, and we have the opening goal, and it's come from Aston Villa's top scorer and the man most likely to break the deadlock through the game so far. 3 minutes into the second half, and for all his critics, Savo Milosevic does this well, brings other players into it so well. Did that for York, who got inside Little, and a clinical finish from a player bang in form in front of goal. It's a really top-class finish from York. It's past the keeper before he set himself. game badly needed a goal. Now can Forest respond? Here comes Stuart Pearce. He is a man who can lead by example for Forest. Gemma. Not a bad one. Haaland. I think Inga Haaland was hoping for more. Gemmell picked him out. And Villa didn't track him here. Taylor really left him. Haaland gets the jump on the whole defence. Bosic is off his line, and if he'd have got any downward pressure on it, he must have scored. It's just about Forest's best chance of the match, though. Good run from Draper. Haaland tracked him. Great ball. Savo Milosevic was 10-1 on to beat Mark Crossley. And I think more than Crossley's quality of goalkeeping, his sheer bulk saved Forest then. Anywhere else but in front of the keeper, and he had to score. It's a big let-off for Forest. Chettle keeps the pressure on. Good return header from Gary Charles there. And he got out to put Pearce under pressure, but now Gemmell's got it for Forest. Bit of space for Stone. Lee, this is more dangerous. Jason Lee couldn't find a pass, and as he tried to help Stone! Sheer pressure brings a reward. It hasn't been pretty, but Steve Stone puts the seal on a fine Forest comeback. 7 minutes from time. They kept knocking and knocking, and finally Villa's house fell in. Sheer determinations to thank here. First it was Lee, then it was Salenzi, and Stone really dug it out well. No backlift at all, really. Real quality finish this from Stone. Bosic may have just clipped it with a fingernail on the way through. Steve Stone's fourth of the season. Nottingham Forest have reward for hard endeavour in this second half. Charles. Good ball. Taylor. Nice touch. Milosevic. Nice move. Savo Milosevic. Oh, and it nearly ended up in the net in the most extraordinary fashion. Milosevic seemed to have lost it. I think Stuart Pearce got a life then. It was an intricate and delightful little break into the box. And again the 1-2 between Milosevic and York. And Crossley almost hammered it off Milosevic straight back past his own last line of defence. It would have been a cruel way to lose a match, that's for sure. This is Tommy Johnson. Draper. A goal now would surely be a winner. Wasn't far away from Draper. He knows the way to go. Made good shape on this, and one wonders whether York was in an offside position. It won't count in the greater scheme of things. Nottingham Forest have got such a superb home record over the past couple of years. Lee won that on the far post. Johnson, Villa needed him to clear it. Well won back by Bart Williams. He had the shot too. Wasn't enough sting in it to worry Bosnich. I think Frank Clark thought that there was just the possibility of something very late in the day here. It would have been a winner with the last kick of the game. As it is, it's honours even. A great strike from Steve Stone, crowning Nottingham Forest's hard-working comeback in this second half after Dwight York had fired Villa in front early in the second half. Aston Villa have got a growing solidity away from home that means that they will stay surely in contention near the top, but they'll have been very disappointed to let the lead go here. Final result, Forest 1, Aston Villa 1.